Welcome to Orange County Power Players, where we spotlight the personal, professional, and financial success stories of OC's top leaders. Here's your host, Danny Flores.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Danny Flores with OC Power Players, and today we have Kenzie Vath joining us. Kenzie is a dedicated professional with a passion for driving innovation and making a difference. Currently serving as a Vice President of Strategic Innovation at Pacific Hospitality Group, she oversees the development, implementation of forward-thinking strategies to drive growth and competitiveness in hospitality industry. In addition to her role at Pacific Hospitality Group, Kenzie is deeply involved in philanthropy and community impact. She is the president of Impact 100 OC, a transformative organization that empowers women through collective giving, and sits on the board of Global Lime Alliance, where she contributes to the organizations through research, education, and awareness. Kenzie, thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it, Danny.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about what you do and where you're at in your business right now, and maybe how you got there.
Sure. I do many things, as you alluded to in my quite lengthy introduction. But I like it that way since I really like to be dynamic. I don't like being bored, and I like an ever-changing environment.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to my full-time job, or the job that I get paid for, so to speak, we create amazing experiences and spaces. I'm on the development side, and I was born and raised in hospitality. The Bush Group is our family business, and we have many entities underneath the Bush Group, and PHG being our largest entity. And at Pacific Hospitality Group, we're really focused on, acquiring, maintaining, and infusing capital to retain our assets. We're long-term holders and owners of our assets and a management company. So I straddle both the asset management and operational side. And I look at our properties as an opportunity to create beautiful design, beautiful experience. And whenever we're looking at a renovation or addressing a PIP, we're really thinking on how can we innovate and bring it to the next level. So that's my focus at Pacific Hospitality Group. I love what I do. I've worked in the food and beverage side and the retail side and the HR and recruiting side. And now I finally settled here on the development side, which is my favorite. I have an eye for design. I love innovation. I love change, and I love construction. So it just naturally progressed perfectly. When it comes to my nonprofit work, it's where I fill my cup with my passion. I love helping those that are in need of guidance or education, specifically with chronic illness and chronic Lyme disease. I was diagnosed over 10 years ago with Lyme disease. I live in Southern California, and nobody has heard of Lyme. And so for me, it was, a mission to really educate the population, not just within, the West Coast, but internationally, on how impactful chronic illness and Lyme disease is on so many people's lives. So I continue to work towards that mission on education and fundraising for the Global Lyme Alliance that's focused on research to find answers for those suffering. And then Impact 100 OC is really about, stimulating giving within our own community and really empowering women to make a difference in their community. So super excited about the people that I've connected with, the nonprofits that I've gotten to know through Impact. And it's really been a joy being part of all these organizations. It really filled my cup.
Well, yeah, it's like that cup seems like it's overflowing with all these organizations and all this that you have going on, but all great stuff. Now, for our audience, when you speak about assets, and this is going back to like the initial Bush Group that you're talking about, what assets? What are they? Are they hotels? Are they restaurants? What does that look like?
Yeah. So at Pacific Hospitality Group, we have two different types well, first and foremost, we're a hospitality company, so we own and operate hotels.
Okay.
We have two different types of hotels. We have our Meritage Collection, which is an independent brand and more resort-like. We have full-service restaurants, spas, and we own all of those. And then we have our legacy assets, and our legacy are branded. We have partners with Hilton, Marriott, Hyatt. So we also work with those brands in terms of our design requirements, our PIP requirements, brand asset updates and needs on the CapEx side as well. So we're really playing in all the fields.
That's interesting, yes, because they have certain requirements, and when you have to renovate, I don't know, is it like every 10 years or something like that? So that's interesting. Many people don't know that, but they have certain standards that they have to meet, and I guess it's you guys are in the business, and you know it's about providing that experience to the guests, right?
Yeah. Yes. And guest experience, as well as just event experiences. At our Meritage Collection, we have something called our Stay Golden program, and it's our membership or loyalty rewards, similar to many of the branded assets. And it's really about getting the first line of experiences that we have at our assets. We have some amazing partnerships with various wineries and Napa, or musicians and Huntington, and we activate our properties with these partners to really create amazing experiences.
Wow, that's awesome. Now you're in a very competitive industry, and it looks like you guys been around for a long time. What makes you different than everybody else, and what competitive advantage that you have? And I don't know if it's totally an advantage, but an ability to draw guests to you versus your competition.
Yeah, I think there's two perspectives. What makes us different if you work for us is that we're family owned and we're privately operated. So when you work for PHG, you're working directly with the family. We're heavily involved in the business, all the way on the ground operational floor with having CEO forums and talking to every team member and what are the needs and what are the opportunities. We have a motto within our company called Think Like an Owner, and we really love every team member to have an opportunity to come to the table with ideas, if it may be in operational efficiency or design and maintenance or whatever it may be. So I think that does really set us apart from other companies. We've expanded, we've shrinked, we've expanded, but overall we are really infused at every level of the business. When it comes to the guest experience, what makes us different is our assets, specifically in the location. We pride ourselves in acquiring or building assets that are key locations within the U.S. So we try to keep it local. We're really focused on guest service. We're really focused on cleanliness, maintenance. Again, as I mentioned, we reinfuse capital into our assets to keep them kind of up to date if it's within design or technology or whatever it is that we need to focus on for that particular asset. So I do think that makes us different than an asset that or some businesses, I guess, that really just acquire and sell. That's not really our motto here at PHG.
Right. I think having your model a little bit different provides a better guest experience, where you want to keep the guests forever if you can, kind of.
Yeah. And I think too, it all starts with our employees, right? Our employees and our team members are the first responders to our guests when they come through the doors. And if they have pride in their asset and what I would call the house, if they have pride in their house and they're taking care of their house and they're welcoming our guests and they're, just the pinnacle of a hospitality or, arrival, it's an immediate reaction that the guest wants to come back and they feel comfortable. They feel like they've, they've been here before and they've been friends, or they get to meet the family at, the bar, or like they drink our wine, Trinitas. And it's a very intimate experience. And I think that's what makes it very unique than other branded assets where, you just kind of, it's a more transactional experience, and we try to really make it a personalized one.
Right. No, that's definitely a good approach to it, and winning and keeping the guests coming back. Now, what comes easy to you or to your team that others may have difficulty? And this is a question kind of across the board of your different endeavors that you have going on, from your work to your philanthropy to your research.
I think right off the bat, my thought would be what comes easy to me is making relationships. Since I was a little girl, I've watched my parents heavily get involved in philanthropy, build relationships when it comes to investors or within our business. And so I knew that as I got involved, or I wanted to build my own, way of helping or getting involved, it was all about relationships. I think sometimes that's more difficult for some people because we've allowed technology to build a wall between having more in-person conversations and getting together and just getting to know each other, or connecting on family matters, or, sharing knowledge about your business and experience in life. And I think that is really valuable. Right. So I do feel like that comes more easily for me. We always open our home to entertain for the holidays. Everyone's, it's kind of an open door policy. I do a lot of fundraising events. So I have a lot of opportunities to connect with some amazing, extraordinary people. And I think that does set me apart. When it comes to the business, I think, operation efficiency is really important for me. So process and procedures, ensuring that there's clarity within my team so that we're all kind of rowing in the same direction for overall success is really critical. So I'm really, I work every day to try to ensure that everybody is on the same page and everybody has the tools and clarity needed to operate successfully for our team.
No, great. That's great insight on all of that. Lots of good information. Now, if somebody is listening to us and is thinking of going, one of the three routes that you've taken, what tips would you give to them on how to get in the business, one, or if they're in the business, how to become a better either employer, employee, or just how to get involved more efficiently?
Oh, that's a lot. I would say you don't have to pick one. Everybody always kind of says, oh, how do you do it all? That's always like the big thing. How do you do it all? Plus I'm a mom with 3 kids, right? So I do it all because I have a great team to support the things that, take up additional time that might not be as critical, like answering voice messages, right? So delegating some of those busier, time-consuming responsibilities to your team is helpful so that you can get involved in the most important things. Leaning into what you're passionate about, and then learning how to juggle, not balance, but juggle. What needs you right now? Right. It might be the business for me, right? We have a ground up construction in downtown Phoenix. So it might be the business that needs me right now. And then it might be the nonprofit that needs me because we're going into fundraising season around a gala. Or then it may be, closing up end of year for our other nonprofit that's local. So, or having an event. So it's really just juggling what's the most important thing right now and focused on that. That's how you become, a good leader. You lead by example, but you show that work is about passion. It's about growth. It's about driving excellence, not just with the work that you get paid for, but helping others. And that is enriching too. So I would say continue to lean into the things that you love. Say yes as much as you can. but say no to the things that you know don't serve you, right? And that you can take off your plate, and delegate to your team, or get very clear within, like, if you're working in the field, get very clear of like, hey, I want to kind of learn a little bit more about this track. Can I get involved here? Or I'd like to take this off my plate or put this on my plate, and, you know, stay busy, stay involved, and always learn, always keep learning.
Right. Yeah. It's a forever lifetime learning. I think we have to be open to that because things are changing so fast, right?
Yes. Especially with technology, right? Like AI, I'm constantly trying to consume. My brother too, he's really passionate about it, but I'm constantly trying to consume, like, how do we stay relevant with AI coming into play, and how is that going to infuse into our type of, you know, business, and how can we create efficiencies around that technology for better customer service or response or whatever it may be.
Yes, totally agree. So what has been one of your biggest challenges that you've had to overcome in your career?
Funny enough, I think my biggest challenge is just finding where I would thrive. You know, like when you're younger, you don't really, you know, it's like, it's funny. You're like in high school and everyone's like, oh, what are you going to major in? And you don't really know. Well, at least I didn't know, you know, I didn't know what I wanted to major in. I wanted to get into dance and psychology. I was really passionate. I was a competitive dancer and I loved people and I was curious. So you lean into something, but that doesn't really predict the rest of your life, right? So I think experience is really important at a young age, not just education, but, you know, kind of consuming various podcasts or reading interesting books about people you like or topics that you may be interested in. I think doing that at a younger age and then continuing that constant learning process through college. Most people, at least in my experience that I've met, most people that take, you know, their majors or in psychology or education or other things, they usually don't end up in that field. So I think getting curious early on about various trades or industries and educating yourself about that and getting experience in it will help set you up for success in your career. Because the earlier you start in your career and where you're passionate, the more you can grow and expand and potentially open your own business, right? With that. So I would say start early. I didn't get to the place that I'm in the development side until a little bit later in my career. Obviously, I was really fortunate to have the opportunity to explore and to get into that space, but I wouldn't say like construction is something like if I was asked in high school or even in college, like, do you want to get into construction? Do you want to get into design? I wouldn't have thought about it. You know, I was so, I was closed-minded to the various opportunities out there. So I would say that is probably the most difficult thing in my career, was just finding where I could thrive and what my passions were. And once I got into it and I started experiencing it, I was really excited about it and it really fueled my day. So I would say get curious early on.
Yeah, no, that's really good. That's a really good tip. And so it looks like things are going really well for you now in your business and your other endeavors. So congratulations on that.
Yeah.
And then, so sometimes business owners such as yourselves, you look for alternative ways to create additional income, passive income, to help set yourself up for retirement, or maybe to supplement the income or create an additional income stream. What are your thoughts on that?
I love it. I would say, you know, do as many things as you can, right? We, as a family, we have we invest a lot into various businesses, a lot of like different startups or like, you know, unique opportunities. One of them particularly I would share is we were part of an investment pool, and they were involved in Icon, which is large printing. So basically, you would print buildings, large format printing. So proprietary concrete mixture that would concrete print these buildings, and it was a really neat, very innovative at the time, and it's really taken off. And now I believe they're printing like the first hotel is going to come in the next couple of years, and I'd love to partner with them and see, how to get involved. But I would always say, invest, understand the markets, do side hustles. Again, building relationships, right?
Mhm.
So even in the nonprofit space, the relationships that you build, you never know where that's going to lead you, and like other opportunities or businesses that you may want to get involved in or consult with to create passive income. I currently don't sit on a board that I get paid for, but there's a lot of opportunity. If you have that experience or leadership or expertise, you can sit on boards that you get paid for. For other businesses. So that's always an opportunity. Advisory boards, you can look at like through LinkedIn to find opportunities to make passive income through that way. I think the options are really endless. It's just staying relevant. And then again, like my social media, I'm more about advocacy work, but if you're a specialist in a certain field, like having a social media presence is critical. And you can make passive income through your social media or podcast if you get the right sponsorships and right alignment within like your business entity. So I think there's endless opportunities to do so. It's just you have to take the initiative and then be consistent.
Right. Correct. Yeah. It's just like going to the gym. You can't go to the gym one day or 2 days. You have to consistently go and expect not to see results. But it's that consistency over time that'll start creating the results, whether it's through relationships or business opportunities or other opportunities that come up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Great.
Awesome. So as we wrap up our interview, what does 2025 look like for you?
Danny, this is a great question because I am a very dynamic person that I may have a plan in place, but it always just changing. And, tomorrow my hair might be pink, right? Like I love on the spot, spontaneous, change and excitement.
Right.
So I guess what I know, 2025 is going to be a year of development and growth. We have a ground up build in downtown Phoenix, as I alluded to. That'll be a big focus of my next year and a half, 2 years. I really want, on a personal note, I want to spend a little bit more time with my kids and be part of like their development and growth, and really looking at their future as an opportunity to lean into some more unique perspective parenting. Do I get them into like rock climbing lessons at a young age, or can they start getting involved in like coding apps so they can be a little bit more in advance in the tech side? So I want to see what 2025 can bring for their little minds. And then I think for, my nonprofit is fundraising. I want to continue to stimulate dollars towards fundraising for Global Lyme Alliance, and then getting to our 100K plus goal on an annual basis for impact. And I really think we're going to make a big difference in Orange County if we can continue to get the right leaders and the right women stimulating the funds locally. We have a huge opportunity there. So growth.
Wow, that's awesome. That sounds like a super exciting 2025.
Yeah.
So Kenzie, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your insights and your tips and all these things that you're involved with. It's very truly inspirational. Now, if somebody is listening and wants to get a hold of you, how could they do that?
Yeah. So for my advocacy work, social media is probably the easiest. So check me out at holisticumbrella.com. Or on my handle for Instagram and Facebook, it's Holistic Umbrella. You can also check out Impact if you want to get involved locally and you're based in Orange County, or, even seasonal to Orange County and you want to get involved. Impact100orangecounty.org. You can check us out there to learn more about our organization and get involved, and email us at, I think it's hello@impact100orangecounty.org. And then you can also check us out at pacifichospitality.com. I'm listed under there, and you can find my contact through that. In any chance that you want to get more involved in the hospitality industry, I'm here to help and educate and guide.
Oh, that's awesome. There's so many different ways to get a hold of you. Just in case if anybody's listening and wants to get involved, there you go. Well, Kenzie, once again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Danny. I really appreciate your time, and I'm really excited for 2025. So I appreciate you having me on.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Orange County Power Players. Want to share your success story? Apply to be a guest at ocpowerplayers.com/guest.